Okay. Yes. Regarding the internet connection, it's usually quite fast, but yes, there have been this kind of problems where suddenly it just disconnects and yeah, you can't do anything about it. The other possibility would be to use instead of using Wi-Fi, would be to use cellular data, but it will be slower in terms of throughput. So I don't know if it's a good compromise or not. Yes, it better not be the case if we get regular disconnects. And players need your server to actually play online. No, it will not use Wi-Fi at all. It will be entirely custom. Are you native French? I'm Swiss and I'm also French. I have both nationalities, and yes, my native language is French. No, we don't use QWERTY. We have a QWERTY keyboard that's very close to the German keyboard, and it's it's a single keyboard for Switzerland, but it has different defaults for German and for French. For instance, instead of having these characters in French, in German by default, and you press Shift to switch to the other characters. I don't have a cat or any pet. Actually, for Ghidra, I just made a separate window for this one and for the disassembly, the compiler, and this one is just the normal windows. We move to to the right because yes, we don't really care about this part here, so I can put the face cam on top of it. How different is Swiss French compared to French? There are almost no difference. Just a few things are like some numbers are different. Like for 70 in France you will say 70, and in Switzerland you will say 70. And there is a similar thing for 90. And yes, the Swiss version is a bit more logical because it matches what you have for 40, 50 and so on. I don't know, it's maybe one of the biggest difference. So really it's extremely similar in general. Maybe another thing is the name of the meals, which are like in France it's a bit like in English, where you have for instance dîner, which corresponds to dinner, while in Switzerland it's all shifted by one. So it can be a bit confusing in some situations. I never heard about this expression before. I say 80 because it's this one is also used in some parts of Switzerland. Like in Jura, Neuchâtel, but not in Lausanne, for instance. So it looks like we are going to remove all that stuff because yes, we don't really want unwanted side effects. We don't know what all these pages we are going to do in our back, so we are going to remove all of them and add them back one by one. So that should be it. Yeah, we could use the actual names, but it will take way too long to copy all this stuff, so no, we just need one page initially, and we need this one. So let's just see what happens. Probably not much. Yeah, that's expected. We need to add it here too. It's maybe well. Okay. So. So, can we see this stuff? Okay. Should be good this time. Okay. So. Yeah, just some random layout crash. We don't have to care about this because we will first try to make a custom page. So. We can use the service pack page as a base and just copy most stuff from it. Is it back? Okay. Maybe call it on later page. So this part we can copy, just constructors, destructors. Then this tree too, we can just copy. It never went down. Ah, poor Zach. So we put a multi-control input manager because we have like, okay, apparently we have notifications for new subscribers. I didn't know that we do it, but okay. It's not liquid. Okay, so we need a page title, a back button, okay. So see if it went down for more than one person, it's maybe on YouTube size. It's maybe YouTube's fault. I mean, why do I get notifications now? So, and now for like to connect to a server, and then a button to actually start a server. So we will choose one on the server side and the other one on the client side. But it's a bit temporary because like the server button won't be here by default on the final version. I guess if we have a page a bit like the service pack page, we could have like on top, yes, just like worldwide, and then open rooms, friend rooms. And if we have some kind of competitive mode, we can have it at the top too. And finally, this button here to directly connect to a room. And this one will be hidden behind a setting that people will be able to enable in some configuration file. I can reset the stream if it's a problem. It seems fine for you. Okay, now let's add some functions to actually handle, actually do stuff when we actually click on the buttons. So we need one for when pressing B on the controller. Then we need one for each button. For the connect button, for the start server button, and one for the back button. And same here, we just have to do the same thing. Okay, and we don't use confirm page, but we will need to import the base page header, so page UI, game UI, page. And we use a back button, and we use a page title, so let's copy these two. And we will, yes, need a dynamic replacement. Okay. This, we can just copy this. No. It's maybe the most interesting part for now. Maybe we should have a button for the settings too. Okay, good. And yes, that should do it. So instead of this one, we have the settings. Okay, my phone just doesn't want to charge for some reason, so I'm going to use this one instead to check the comments. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Doesn't seem to work either, so I'm just going to check the command here. So since we so majority, so let's just copy the BR set here for the service pack page, and we will just have 2 buttons instead of 3 buttons. So what's the spacing? We have 84, so we can maybe increase it a bit, so have 94 between the first and the second button. For animations and delays, we should have 0 and 2. Now let's add a new message for this menu. Something like maybe this. And this maybe we're gonna always change them afterwards. Let's copy this one. What song do you have on? It's personal stuff. Now we're at 1 hour and 26 minutes. So it's probably one of these two. So it should be a new file. You are going to put the two button here, set here in it. It's called no, we have 5 controls. Settings. Alright, I need to give names to the buttons. And we need a page title too. Maybe we can reuse one from the base game. It's maybe called, yes, it's not like called online. It's like really WFC or Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, so we don't have a name for our online service, so we are just going to call it simply online mode or something. Anyway, all of this can easily be changed if needed. Okay, and by default we select the first button, so that's the connect button. Then, when activating the let's do this too. When we activate the page, we set no replacement initially. And when going back, I'm going to check what the base Wi-Fi menu does to use the same section ID. So let's go to this, what was 8B. Maybe I add a, yeah, keep it simple. Just go check the, it's probably this one if we're a bit lucky. No, of this. Yes, okay. It sets it to 5B. Do we have it? Okay, that's not at all what we want. Okay, maybe Nintendo is actually using more than one section. I'm a bit lost. Anyway, what are the options anyway? Main menu from demo credits or both, from reset or from game menu. So we are just going to use this one, the title from menu. For the, yes, that's why when like pressing back on the GSN controller, pressing B I mean, or on the remote, and then we did a second for because we have an actual back button on the screen for players who use the remote pointer, and then they can click it. So that's why we have to handle this stuff twice. Okay, and now just add like some empty handlers for settings button, connect button, and start server button. Yeah, it's maybe not the best name, but since we had like stuff like directions, we already have like left, right, top, and so on. It's yeah, it looked logical to just have a front and back to have a generic name over controllers. But yes, I agree, maybe race config is race info, but it's a bit late to change the name. Because some people already have called something else race info, but so race config is more or less a descriptive name. But maybe race info is more correct, but it depends on what you want to do. If you want to be as accurate as possible, or if you want to, yes, to have maybe the less confusing name. So for now, just remove this, and remove this too, and do some magic here. And finally add the file to see if we can compile it. Did we actually touch the menu file? It was... Okay, I actually accidentally saved it. Okay. Wait, what line? Okay, it's the header, that's wrong. Okay. Doesn't have button in the name. Now let's replace the base. How is it called? Yes, the Wi-Fi top page with our custom online top page, and see what happens. We will probably get another crash, but at least yes, it won't be a completely pointless one. So let's put it here. Okay, so technically, even if it means more or less the same, but I'm not really a fan of all these names that start with Wi-Fi, because it's not really just Wi-Fi. I don't know. Yes, why Nintendo decided to call the service the Wi-Fi connection, because maybe. Okay, I received some spam now. Maybe I should figure out how to disable the notifications. It's probably in here. Okay. I'm just going to block notifications for now, because getting new subscribers is maybe cool, getting spam in comments not so much. So let's see. We get a crash again, but this time it makes sense to actually investigate it. So it's here. So let's use the very efficient method to convert addresses back. So it's in some layout stuff. But it all starts here, maybe. Okay, that's our custom code actually. Okay. So let's check. So it's not one of these functions. Must be the last one, like maybe this one. Okay.
It's now or never, and I've got to make my decision. This time could be my moment. Is this a mirage or a chance to fulfill my mission? A river in a dry land, the left is in a lost land. A heartbeat for a demon, always is in a strange land. I'm giving the balance, but I'm standing on razor's edge now. Real quick, all my life is over. One strike just offending, I'm out of his field of vision. Don't ask why I'm ready, but I'm ready to strike him down now. I just saw the new stars, there's no time for indecision. A river in a dry land,
What, this page?
the left is in a lost hand.
85.
New beginnings burn our feet. Now we need it, a heartbeat for demon. Oasis in a siege land. Remind us what we're here for. Creating new life. Creating rivers in the desert.
Alright. Okay. That's why it's because I was actually accidentally adding like all the pages that I wanted to remove. So yeah, it's not gonna work. So now
My heart is a furnace, had a selling my word of conflict. One goes what keeps me going. Take back what I lost to the bosses of greed and fear. Yeah. Don't ask if I'm ready, but I'm ready to take them down now. The time for a new start is constantly drawing nearer.
okay. Good.
A river in a dry land.
Here we delete
The left is in a lost
everything.
When I hope of new beginnings.
We we don't have to add a new page because it's already there, but we have to make it active from the start. We still get a crash. Let's see. Okay, this is from NW4R. This one. If it's actually correct, let's check. Yeah, so probably for one of our BR files, there are some BR Lite or TPL or BRLAN that are not in the glob.szds, so we will have to insert all these subfiles. It's probably for the settings button. So maybe extract this content somewhere in create a new folder for it. Okay, and let's check what we have exactly in glob.szds. A lot of stuff apparently. What does it call it? Okay. And then in button we have this. But actually we care about this folder. First we have these which are the regular buttons which are also used on the service pack page. And what's the It's called Open Icon option, and it has also all those PRLAN files, and maybe we will have to deal with TPL files too. But maybe we are already adding all this stuff to the channel, if we're a bit lucky. Yeah, looks like we are not, so. Okay, so we do have open icon on rule. Okay. yes, we do have all this stuff, so I'm not really sure what's going on. Okay, what's this? Okay, that's indeed our constructor. Not our constructor actually, our initialization function. Or we do not have open icon option, but we do have another one which is open icon. Cool. So let's just use that for now, because it does what we want almost perfectly. The only thing is that we will probably want to change the icon at some point, but yeah, it's not a high priority for now, so let's just fix it. And let's see. Okay, so we do have a menu. We don't have text though. Not sure why, but that's a start. Let's see if we can get some text now. Okay, for the settings, we just don't have. Okay, we do have the message ID. What happens if I do that? Okay, it really doesn't want to show the messages. Maybe it's not in. Yeah, I don't get it. It's not in menu.bmg. It's a bit surprising. I'm pretty sure it's still menu.bmg. Let's just check what's in this. Oh, it doesn't have a... Yeah, I'm stupid in fact. It's because it's in the localized SZS, so like let's decompress maybe glob E. So yes, it's indeed menu.bmg. So maybe we need to do something to load the font. Hi, the window manager. So maybe let's add a bit more debug prints in the Dolphin configuration. At least print stuff from the file monitor. To see what it tries to load exactly. So here. Can't print this one, the back button actually. I think your audio and webcam are desynced. Okay, yes, okay. In fact, the audio is not directly from the webcam, it's just the headset microphone, so it's not really surprising. I can maybe try to reset the webcam, simply it's maybe the simplest thing to do. So, where is it? Not here, it's this. Okay. And to pinits, I think it's this. Yes. Okay. So is it better now? Because it's simpler to reset the webcam than to reset the audio stuff. Yes, tiling window managers are cool for programming. It depends a bit on your actual workflow, but yes, it's basically you can just have a very simple. Okay. Yes, very simple text editors and just a window to compile stuff, and it just does like a bit like an IDE. But yeah, it's maybe not as integrated as one. it depends a bit on what you prefer. Maybe something like VS Code or whatever is the most popular IDE can be good too. I'm just a bit used to this, so I'm not really changing it, and at least it's very lightweight, so we'll never have problems because your development environment is running slow, at least. Are you remaking the Wi-Fi sections from scratch? Yes, I'm doing that. I think it will be less work in total compared to trying to reuse what Nintendo made, because yes, we are changing a lot of stuff. It's much more flexible to write C++ code than to write like assembly and trying to put, or even trying to put hooks and so on. If you write a page from scratch, it's really easy because the UI code from MKW is well known. It's relatively well designed, and I like it. So I really prefer to do that instead of trying to do with what we have from Nintendo for all these online sections. Can Sway run on Wayland? But let's say Sway is basically i3 on Wayland. It's even compatible, like you have your i3 configuration file and you can directly use it in Sway. So this looks correct. Let's see again. Oh, I know we need to add our custom BMG to glob J and glob E and all the localized files. It's why we don't have text. Sway is pretty good. It's maybe one of the best options if you want to use Wayland. And they care quite a lot about interoperability too, unlike let's say GNOME. So just fix the this and add this. Yeah, we do have text now. So we have this button for testing our clients and this one for testing our servers. Now, what are we going to do? I know that for the server side, we don't have all the socket functions we need. Like I think the listen function, accept, and maybe poll aren't in MKW. So we would have to maybe find look at another game that has these functions and just re-implement them, because we will need them to actually accept connections from clients. Now another thing we could do instead is maybe already start with the protocol design. For like the initial connection, just think what we need to send from the client to the server. I guess it will just be a MI file and that's it. Since you don't choose your character, vehicle, drift mode and whatnot before joining home. You do it after, because you can have restrictions on what you can choose exactly, so it makes sense. We will need to think also, like when we click this button here, what do we have to enter to connect to the server? If we make it like configurable from the get-go, we can also hardcode an IP address and like a port initially, because we are lazy and we just want to test the actual gameplay code. But like you will have, like CTGP has something like this for their direct connection mode, where you enter a code and it contains like the IP address and maybe the port number and maybe some number to avoid unwanted connections from random people. Yes, the direct connection is like just the client mode that will work with the other the server mode here. So maybe I'm gonna check quickly the socket library to see what we have and what we don't have. It must be... Okay, this. So we do have a poll function. It's useful when we want to multiplex on the server side between more than one client. And we do have a bind function, which is good too, I think. We need it too. But we don't have a listen function and we don't have an accept function. So these are the two that we will need for the server, and that we don't have. But like if you look at this one, it's not very complicated to reproduce them. So maybe do the initial protocol design. you should add a server history screen where you can quickly join the server after you direct connect to it. Yes, that's a good idea. So we have net storage update, and let's start a new protocol. Maybe call it room.proto, something like this, because yes, it's maybe to handle stuff within a room, because like when we will have regionals, worldwide, and so on, we will have a different protocol where there will be a different server that will assign rooms to the clients, so it won't be part of that protocol, for instance. And for the in-game protocol, we probably won't use protobuf at all, because we really want something that's like as efficient as possible, because we are sending messages 60 times per second, and we want to put as much data as possible in them. And we also have to deal with possibly with clients which don't have a good internet connection, and in that regard we shouldn't be worse that compared to the base game. So syntax photo 2 apparently. It's message connect request, let's say something like this. And we just need to send the me. I think maybe I'm missing something, but for now we don't need more than just that. And we can also set up a response. And again, at first we will probably just send the me's from all the other players, and maybe we will need to tell the client who is the host, but we can maybe just infer it. Like, if the response is empty, there is no other players, it means that you are the host. And if there is one or more players, yes, it means that the first player on the list is the host. So, and after that, at some point we will add probably the current settings, but it will maybe be a separate message compared to this one. Yes, I don't know exactly for the message size. We should maybe ask people to test it, because for instance some people seems to have problems using the high data rate option that exists in CTGP and in other mods. So I don't know what it represents and how our custom protocol will compare to that, but I prefer to be careful about it. So maybe let me check the protobuf documentation, because I have no idea how to put an array in it. So Yeah, I don't really have numbers for console either. Currently we have a test to test like a SD card and USB speed, and we also support network storage, but we don't have an interface or like a config file for now, so we regular users cannot test it yet. But what we will want to do is add it and maybe ask users to send some benchmarks of their networks connections on the actual console. Because yes, on Dolphin it's not going to be a problem in general. Especially because by default it seems like Dolphin uses certain parameters that are just not possible on Wii. If you stuff like buffer size, and that's a little bit cheated compared to what you can have on Wii. So okay, you just have to put okay, so we can cap the maximum here, which is good. Because it makes parsing much simpler on the using NanoPB. Yes, 12 because we could have some spectators. Yes, CTGP used P2P for online, and yes, what I mean is we will send 60 messages per second, and yes, that's fine. But I'm mainly speaking about the message size, because yes, I don't know if it's maybe a few kilobytes. It may be already a bottleneck because it seems the networking of the Wii is not very good in general, so I'm afraid of that. But yes, it will be better to have actual numbers in any case. Is he planning to use TCP? Yes and no. We will use TCP for all like the room messages. And UDP for the in-game messages. And we can configure the UDP connection from the TCP one. Why will messages be kilobytes in size? Because you have to send that data from the server to the client. Yes, what you send from the client to the server is really tiny because you just send your current inputs. But from the server to the client, you need to send for like 12 players, their position, rotation, and some other physics values, which are not really like a 1 byte value. It's typically floating point, even if you will have to some checks on these numbers. And then you have to do all the same for the items. And for the objects too, it might, I don't know exactly, but it might also be there for some objects. So it can quickly be alert. Because there is a lot of state that you need to synchronize between the client and the server, because compared to vanilla Mario Kart Wii, you really have to handle everything on the server. You cannot just rely on the clients to do their own thing for a lot of the physics stuff. So I don't know what it would be exactly, but it's not necessarily messages that are that small. And I don't know, maybe protobuf is good enough, but yes, the players don't need to send much. Yes, the server must send updates, but these updates are not necessarily small. And yes, the client really it's like maybe 10 bytes per frame or something like this. But yes, something we can do if it becomes a problem is that even if you halve the rate, for instance, instead of sending 60 messages per second, you only send 30, then it won't make your game completely laggy or anything like that, because it will just increase the latency a bit, but that's it, because the client will have code to handle server messages in general. I feel like server client data. Yes, Yes, of course, the typical client we will have a lower sending rate than a receiving rate, and it does correspond to a typical network connection, which is good. And the bigger messages will come from the server to the client. But we will see. Maybe I can start using protobuf also for the UDP stuff, and if it's not good enough, we can always make something more efficient, because making something really efficient is more work, and yes, we will be a bit reinventing the wheel. So let's try to complete this stuff. CSGO uses protobuf. Yeah, protobuf is still relatively efficient in most cases. Yeah. So okay, we have this and this. So that's the functions we need to write code for. So okay, it should be like this. So, that's a file descriptor simply. So let's add the definition for this one. I don't know what's supposed to be this, but and it returns int. So call this, check if it's 0. If it is, it will jump into here, as expected. Now we have to do an allocation. Where we have USB size and alignment. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's actually an ID. If we check this, okay. And then which function were you wondering about? Now I'm adding so listen and so accept because we need them, and we don't have them in MKW. So I'm just rewriting them by looking at what another game it's role, what it's doing exactly, but it's pretty simple, and all the socket functions are the same basically because most of the stuff happens in iOS anyway, so it's pretty simple. Yeah, it will be a cool Easter egg.
The true artist, so let's get together, see what we can uncover. One that defines your world, gives you truth and life. One that excels, special enough to guide your way through this shadow world. The true artist, so let's get together, see what we can uncover. There is someone there that shares truth and love. Who really cares and knows we can only share our truth through one that defines your world, gives you truth and life.
Okay, so this one should be good. This one has a little more stuff. Maybe some validation or something. So it checks something from the socket address. It offset 0. So Or it's maybe the same thing as this actually. Like it checks that the address is not a null pointer, then that it's not, its size is not more than 8 or not less than 8, so, and then it returns that error codes. So we are going just to do the same. So actually it seems like we don't strictly have to pass an address in this function, and it's actually optional. And there are some default values that are provided to us if we don't provide an address. So let's change the check a bit like this. Now what does it use? So it allocates some memory for the address. and then simply our file descriptor here. Okay, we have one more check here, which is once more two different cases if the address is a null pointer or not. So if it is, we do this code here. Also, we need to store the socket descriptor in any case. And in the second case where we actually have an address, we simply copy it to our buffer. Okay, so here we had this and then this. file descriptor,
So
and
you know that we out there, swatting lights in the naked.
first part is just like this.
Can't hold on our life for change.
Yes, the size is the same too.
And our voices ring out, yeah.
And here,
Took the mask off to be free. Falling out in the debris. Now we know that love will change.
yeah, okay, it makes sense.
Ain't it a shame? I'm not a big man of your Illinois mind. I'm just as real as, I'm just as dangerous as you, so know you're fine. Make up your mess, fight in every breath, fight inside your head, your heart. And as a grateful friend, try to fight in vain. You're invaluable apart.
Get this.
And you know
And
we
check the
went
result.
out there, swatting lights in the making, going hard for the taking. Can't hold on our life for change. And our voices ring out here. Took the mask off to be free. Falling out in the debris. Now we know that love will change.
this, and finally still have to do this part. Okay, looks like we already have addresses for these functions. Well, good news. Nope, hopefully it's correct, but we will see in practice. So I think it's done for this stream. Thanks for watching, and I hope you liked it. Anyway, you can tell me on Discord yeah, what I could improve and what was fine for this stream. And I may make some other ones for the network code where we are going to do maybe more interesting stuff like an actual connection maybe between a client and the server, but yeah, it's not quite there yet.